Hello and welcome back to another Tarkov video. This video is going to be all about the map customs. Now hopefully by the end of this video you'll understand what extracts there are, where players are going to spawn, where PMCs might be, and where all the scavs are. Now I've made several different versions of this map that you're seeing on screen now. I will post a link to all of the maps, so you can just go on that link, you don't have to pause the video, and you can find the ones you need at the right time. I will be doing other maps, but I'm doing customs first because it's going to be the most important map at the beginning of the next wipe, because of so many quests require you to be on customs. This video won't contain accurate information on things like loot spawns and whatnot. It's primarily for new players or players that are returning to the game to jump into customs and being able to understand what's happening in their environment, understand where scavs are, where players are going to be, and where they might run into trouble. One of the most important things to know about a map is where other PMCs are spawning. Now customs has two sides to it, the left and right side, and primarily PMCs will spawn on either side and they'll be forced to move to the opposite side to extract, so people tend to meet in the middle. Now the green dots on the map on screen show you where PMCs should spawn. Now these are all the ones that I remember. It's not the entire list. Sometimes they change quite frequently depending on the update. Sometimes they add some new ones in, sometimes they don't. Some of them I haven't spawned in for ages. It's all luck of the draw. But these are the general areas you should look at as soon as you spawn in case someone's going to try and rush your spawn to get a quick kill. If you're watching this video after 12.7, customs has got an expansion in that patch. Now this is currently 12.5, which I'm playing, but the expansion expands down on the construction area, so just keep that in mind throughout this video. Now the ideal spawns are those closest to the center. You can see on the left hand side that spawn in the top right next to next to the river crossings is one of the best spawns there, because you can get across that river and now you hold nearly 3 choke points. Similarly on the other side, if you spawn at the top of the map, you can easily from that position reach dorms before anyone else. After that, I think one of the most important things is knowing your extracts. Now on the map now I've put a bunch of stars on it that show all of the extracts for PMCs, scavs and both. So orange stars are both extracts that both players can use. Green is PMCs, red is scav. Now there's two things to note on this. The smuggler's boat extract is not always there and sometimes can only be used when the fire's lit. There is a campfire on the floor and you'll be able to see whether it's lit or not. And the Dorm's vehicle extract, it costs money to escape from there. I think it's around 3,000 rubles. Now I will link the customs wiki in the description, because that shows you the exact location with pictures of every extract. Now a good rule of thumb I always use if I spawn in as a PMC is if I spawn in on the left hand side of the map near Crossroads or Trailer Park, I tend to only be able to extract at ZB 1011, on the other side 1011. Now if I spawn on the right hand side, I tend to only be able to extract at Crossroads and Trailer Park, so those are the two extracts I would try and get to, probably Crossroads and ZB 1011, depending on which side you spawn. On the map now, the areas in red are the places where scavs are most likely to spawn and patrol. Now there is 3 sniper scavs, sometimes 4, depending on how unlucky you are. The first one is in construction. If you look in the middle of the map, I should have done the callouts first, but if you look in the middle of the map, near the thin red patch, to the right of that is construction. Now he literally sits on that grey L-shaped building at the bottom there, at the middle of the map. The other one is to the right of that, below the small red dot. He's in a giant tower, one of the tallest towers in the game. He's sat at the top of there. And then if you look down to the right hand side where you've got the other red dots, they are on the warehouses. Usually the scavs on this map aren't really an issue. However, I would take extra care to the ones on the left side next to Crossroads and the customs office. For some reason, I always seem to get one tapped by scavs there, especially when you cross over from the customs office out that back wall and over to the cargo containers. Just something about crossing that ditch gets me instantly headshot by scavs. Now I've labelled the map with all different callouts. Now what a callout is it's the name you give to a place to tell a team member whereabouts a person is, or just where you want to go, for example. Now these callouts aren't the most popular. I've tried to assemble a selection of them that I hear most of the streamers use, because that's generally how the callouts get made. Now, if you've already got names for these places, there is no reason for you to switch over to the ones I'm suggesting. But if you're a new player and you don't know the map and you're playing with some friends, these are some good terms to share amongst yourselves, just so you can coordinate on how to move across a map or how to attack, any players you come across. What I've done with this map is I've basically linked up all of the points of interest on the map, where players spawns, where the scavs are, where the loot spawns, where the objectives are, and I've drawn red lines to show where you can expect to find and encounter players. Now, Customs is pretty much designed to force players from either side of the map into the middle, into an inevitable conflict. What you'll find is most players tend to congregate around the dorms area, which is that building at the top, because it has the marked room which will drop any item in the game, well, within reason, most items in the game. And they'll also generally coincide at construction, because construction is leads to the South Land Bridge, which the South Land Bridge tends to be less risky than North Land Bridge and the actual bridge. Now, this map can help you find players and get into fights, or help you avoid players and skirt around the fights, but its primary focus is to enable you to visualize which areas you can afford to take a break, perhaps repack some rounds, or just take a moment to collect yourself to decide what you're going to do next. Just remember to take this with a grain of salt. You are never safe in Tarkov. The moment you are in the game, the chance is someone's going to find you and kill you. That's just the way the game's played. And this is the last map I've made personally. Now, it just shows little things and points of interest that are good to know going in, so you're not blindsided by certain inevitable outcomes by straying into the wrong area. Now, the first part is everything in red has a potential quest location, so other players might be on a task that puts them in your path if you go near these areas. Most risky of this would be dorms and old gas station, and also new gas station. The reason being is both dorms and new gas station are potential spawns for the scav boss on customs. Now, the scav boss, called Rashala, is a 5 to 6 unit elite squad of scavs which will absolutely dome you if you go anywhere near them unprepared. Now, the reason I call Old Gas Station dangerous is that Old Gas Station's at the bottom of the map, that very long red line. The reason that's dangerous is because as soon as you go into that area to go to the back of it, if anyone gets on the bridge behind where you've just came out of, there's no way around them. You've got to go through them. Now, everything in the blue is what I consider a choke point on this map. The three main ones are the bridges on the left hand side, then you've got that little train line at the top that's covered in blue, that has a wall to a certain amount of it, all the way to the top, and there's only a certain amount of cut-throughs to that wall, which limits the flow of traffic, in and out. So I'd consider that one a choke point. And then the other one is below Old Gas Station. There is a choke point there where you have to use a factory key to get through the cut-through. It's just worth bearing in mind that these areas, some people tend to keep an eye on them before they go through them, just in case they're going to, get caught off guard. And that's pretty much going to wrap up what I think you need to know to start playing customs effectively. I am going to link at the end 2 maps that I didn't personally create, but I do use, and they're extremely helpful. So they're just going to be rolling after I've said my bit here, and I'll put them in the batch link of all the other maps that I made. I'm also considering streaming later on today. I'm probably going to try and stream more often. It is something I want to get into, so if you're interested in that, my Twitch channel will be linked below, and I also think it's linked on my main channel page. Like always, I hope this video has helped, and if you know anything that's exceptionally helpful to new players for customs, just pop that down in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.